Test, test. Test one, test one. Test one. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Good morning. Struggle streaming already, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's your girl Dion, and it is Sew Jeaux live. Yes, I actually made it to the AM. Definitely by the hair of my chinny chin chin, but we are technically still in the AM here on the East Coast. And why do I care? Because it's my morning show live from my studio where we chat about sewing, business, and mo while sipping on a strong cup of Joe. Jeaux is an ode to my maman and my roots as a Louisiana Creole. Comment ça va? Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are new here, welcome. Come on in, sit down, grab a drink. If you are a returning subscriber, hey girl, hey. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. If you would please, as you come in, like the video, like, show your girls some algorithm love. It's a way to support the channel free 99, okay? And also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Your girl is trying to get to 1,000 and I can't do it without you. So please subscribe. And of course, share with all of your creatives and sewing friends. Yes, welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, so, okay, in all fairness and in all transparency, okay, you may see me looking over here, staring off into the distance. I have made some notes for myself. I'm new to this whole live streaming thing and I want to put on a good show for you. So I want to make sure I cover everything, especially all the things liking, sharing, subscribing. Those are things that are not so natural to me, but I don't want to miss them. I don't want to miss them. So I may be, checking my notes from time to time. So, all right. So why don't you type in the chat what you're sipping and where you're tuning in from? I'm sipping on Nespresso Intenso, and as usual, I have a dash of heavy cream in there, just enough to give that caramel color. I love it so much. I'm taking a sip now. Mm. That's so good. Okay, so the reason we are here today are these little beauties right here. Okay, in my effort to make the set, uh, the set look nice and neat and organized, give the appearance of nice and neat and organized as I go through tutorials and things like that. I have to show you different parts. But what I figured out is my coffee and my water often cause a lot of moisture on the desk. They sweat basically. And so I decided to make these fabric coasters so that I can control that. These are so simple. And I came up with this design. I love it because they are so elegant and they have these beautiful mitered corners. Beautiful mitered corners. So if this is something that you're interested in, you've got time to get your supplies together and sew along with me. The supplies are listed in the description, but I will go over them again here. But you do have time to grab your things. It's not a lot, doesn't take a lot. It's very simple, easy project, very quick. And yeah, so get your things together. This is actually perfect for the upcycler, someone who has old curtains that you want to repurpose. Yeah, curtains to coasters, placemats to coasters. Yes, a dress to coasters. or any old scraps that you may just have lying around the house are would be perfect as long as the fabric is absorbent and can be hand or machine washed would work. Okay, and it's nice and stable. Like quilters cotton is great. Um, yeah, broadcloth, twill, um, any kind of like cotton or cotton blend would be perfect for this. I'm using also gauze, like a double gauze is also awesome for this as well. You know, and the other thing about this is also an adaptable thing that you can do to make, let's say, for instance, 'cause I'm thinking about making a duvet cover for my bed with this similar design. I just love the simplicity of it. And this would be great even as a quilter. You could make a simple quilt out of something like this with mitered corners. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so let's talk about the supplies you need. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. First of all, let me show you what this looks like. So when these are all done, they will end up being 5-inch squares, and you can adapt them to whatever size that you want. But these will that we're working on today will be 5-inch. And let me just show you how they look on. They fit most coasters. I mean, most mugs. This is a fairly large cup of coffee, right? So it fits really nicely. Okay. And again, you want to get a fabric that doesn't have a lot of variation in design in terms of like, embossing or anything like that, because you want your cup to sit fairly flat on there and be very stable. So these work really, really well for that. Okay. So let's talk about your supplies. Okay. Okay. Let me have to move that. Okay, let's see here. Show you what you're gonna need. All right, so a set, I'm planning on doing a set of 4. I've already done 2 of them. I've already done 2, and so I'm gonna make 2 more, okay? So you'll need 4 squares that are 7.5, I'm sorry, 7.25 inch around, okay? And you'll need 4 squares of a contrasting fabric, 4 3/4 inch around. Okay. And your batting should be cut to the same size, 4 3/4 inches around. Okay. And for your batting, I would recommend that it's fairly thin. I wouldn't go any thicker than maybe 1/4 inch thick. Again, it's just to make sure that your cup is nice and stable when you're using it. Okay. The other things you will need is your ruler. I'm going to use a hem gauge as well, but it's not necessary. You'll need your scissors. You need something to mark with. I'm going to use a water soluble pen because that's easiest to mark with. And I just got my thread snippers here because I tend to reach for them a lot. Okay, of course, you'll need your pens. Okay, I've got pens here. You'll need your pens, thread, and your sewing machine. Okay, so that's all you'll need. And let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is and measure and iron all of the pieces. Okay, that's what we want to work on first. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out uh, the, let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and put these things aside. And get started with the ironing. Yes. So, what's the weather like in your area? It's very warm here. It's currently 82. I'm not sure what the high is going to be, but it is 82 now. We've been experiencing some pretty warm days. which is, I enjoy that myself. Okay. So what we're going to do is fold it and press it 1 inch, do a 1 inch hem basically around the perimeter. Okay. The square. So the important thing about this particular project is the measuring and the ironing. The ironing is a really, really important part so that your miters come out nice and clean. Okay. Yes. So, have you guys been watching any of the latest like hot topics? I mean, what's going on in the world in terms of like, did you watch the Johnny Depp um, trial? I didn't watch it. I actually just kind of got the cliff notes, and pretty much the consensus is that she was lying an awful lot, and he actually won. Not necessarily monetarily, but I guess it's his legacy and his reputation are more important than any monetary reward that he could have gotten, right? Do this one. I have that. And I'm ironing it towards the wrong side, okay? If you have a fabric that doesn't really have a wrong side, then it doesn't matter, but you want to create the hem so that you're ironing it towards the wrong side of the fabric. Yes. So these are actually perfect to put all around the house, like, any room where you you drink, right? So I think this is a nice little addition. And it's good to like, especially if you want to add a splash of color somewhere in the house. And I love these because they are washable and also because we're recycling, right? So we are reusing, making old things into new things. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to now press it in from the edge, 1/4 inch. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. So I would love to know what kind of projects you guys are sewing right now. As I mentioned in my prior videos, and you can see from my channel, I do primarily lingerie. Um, I've been doing lingerie for the past 10 years, designing it for women who have problems finding bras that fit. And it was actually born out of my own issues, having larger breasts. Um, it was always really, really, really difficult finding bras that fit in the stores. I was relegated to shopping online, you know, um, because, the sizes, if and when they ever had them, were very popular and they would disappear very quickly. Or, they just didn't have anything that appealed to my style. Usually it's like grandma looking bras, right? Um, and usually in black, white, or nude or something like that. And, in the age of Victoria's Secret, everybody wants to feel like they can go into a bra candy shop, right? With all the colors and, have so many styles available that it makes it difficult to choose. So I, endeavored to create that for women who um, struggled with finding bras that fit them, and also women who um, maybe had undergone surgery, lumpectomies, and mastectomies from breast cancer. They and to be honest with you, that's the most rewarding part of my journey with this, because they're so appreciative, right? Because they just want to feel normal. And it really, I really like felt amazing when they would put on their bras and they would just light up. I love that. Yeah. And so I've decided that I want to share some of that knowledge, right? So that's why I've been doing, so my business has been primarily custom, making bras for women, and designing bras for them and swimsuits and things like that. Um, but it's come full circle because now I kind of want to share that knowledge with other women who wish to not just, um, who have a need, right? And maybe don't feel they can afford a custom bra, because of custom anything custom is going to be more expensive for the sheer labor that's involved, and so I really want to help women who maybe have a little bit of interest, if they're not sewing yet. My hope is to inspire them to sew, and to want to make their own lingerie. And that is a very gratifying process too. Very gratifying. Let me tell you, I went through a lot just to learn how to fit into the appropriate shapes and things like that, and how just a minor change in the grain line will, cause everything to shift, right? And often I was told that, but I was like, oh, there's no way and even when you are making changes to bras, how with your clothes, you can make maybe an adjustment that's probably like an inch or so, and you may not see a difference because there's ease in the garment. With bras, it's not like that. You take you remove like a quarter inch, and it makes a drastic change. A drastic change. Yeah. Okay, great. I think we're all ironed up now. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do after you have ironed your squares, we're going to mark. Okay. And for this, I'm just going to use a water-soluble pen, because it's easy. You can use chalk as well. And so now what I'm going to do is mark 2 inches around the perimeter. So from each corner, I'm going to mark a 2-inch mark. Here we go. 2 inches, just going to put a little mark there. Yes. How about you? Do you have any interest in sewing bras or making panties or anything like that? I know that a lot of people became really interested in sewing over the pandemic, especially since the mask thing became like the critical need. And so a lot of people got into sewing after that. Um, how about you? When did you get into sewing, and why? For me, I grew a love for it when I was, gosh, 12 years old. Um, And to be honest with you, so my mother tried it. My mother tried it, and she wasn't as successful, and only because she gave up. That's definitely not true today. She is an amazing sewist today. And she, in fact, she does everything with, she doesn't work with patterns. She makes it from her own pattern blocks. Some beautiful flowy things. I love her stuff. And she is the type that will get up to her and sit at her sewing machine the night before and to just to make an outfit to go to church the next day. Okay, actually. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect those marks with a diagonal line. Mhm. Yeah, so once again, this is going to help to create that beautiful perimeter that you see on this guy. Right, so that's where we're headed. I love it because it looks like a picture frame. And I'm definitely going to do me a quilt or a duvet out of this because I just love it. I can't seem to find the right size king cover because the ones I swear the ones they buy that they sell in the store, they're never the right size. They're either too short, meaning that I can't pull it over my head and still have it on my cover my toes. um, so it's either too short or it's not wide enough, and I'm pulling and he's pulling, and inevitably I'm the one that loses because he ends up with all of the covers on his side. Mm. So um, I got to make something that covers it on all sides. And so I feel like there's ample at the top and the bottom as well as the sides. Okay. All right. So we're done marking, as you can see here. So I've just marked little triangles. And as you can see, those the line intersects just above the corner where we pressed that 1 inch mark. Okay. So we're done with that. Actually done with the ruler as well, and my little hem gauge. Just try to keep this area as clear as possible. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pin. Okay, see how quickly this is. You're going to be so surprised at how quickly this is going. So I'm going to take both of the ends of the line and match them. Okay, so that's right sides together. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, and the lines are meeting on the other side. Just like that. Okay, and so before I pin this down, I'm just going to fold back the little 1/4 inch fold that we made. Okay, just fold it back. Okay, and so you can still see your line going down here. Um, and when you're ready to stitch, just follow that line. I can still kind of barely see it even with that folded back like that. All right, so I'm just going to pin it. Okay, I'll just go ahead and pin all of them. Right sides together. I'm just using the unfolded, I'm just using the line at the edge to fold it properly. And then I can just um, fold back that little 1/4 inch press line. Okay. Even muslin works really good with this, okay? So if you only have muslin hanging around, it's perfect. It really is more about a color pop. So that center fabric that we're going to use, maybe just put a nice little color pop in the middle. It's getting really warm in here, the lights. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pin them both. Okay, just like this, lining them up and then folding it back. So as I look around YouTube, I find that there's a lot of people into quilting. Now that's one thing I have never done, and I really haven't tried, and I just see how popular it is. Makes me want to just give it a try, just to see, what all the rage is. But people, it's a really, really popular community. Just never has been anything that I've been interested in so much. But just kind of seeing how popular it is makes me want to give it a try. Okay. Okay, so now we're all pinned up. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to Stitch Cam so that we can so that you can see how I'm stitching here. Let's see. Okay. Second, gonna head on over to Stitch Cam in just 1 second. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, in fact, let me go back over here just so you can see what I'm going to do first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stitch along here, back stitching here, and back stitching at the end where the line ends. Okay, so it's just a straight stitch on all corners, following the line. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This is so easy. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't. Miter corners are a lot easier than I thought. That's what I'm sure you're gonna think. I'm sure you're gonna think that miter corners are easier. This is just a very quick and easy way to do it. Have it look a little professional. Okay, so we've got all of those stitched. I'll go ahead and stitch this second one too. down in the comments, let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to tackle. I focus on lingerie and things like that, especially, and we'll get into some of that during some of these live Sew Jeaux, so that those who are interested in making their own lingerie can get some good examples of techniques and things like that. Okay, I think we're all sewn up, all four, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to hand cam. Okay. And so now that we have everything stitched, we're simply going to trim. Okay, so I think I put my scissors over here. So we're just going to trim close to the stitching here. You know, also, I want to talk about trending topics and things like that. Let me know if there's anything particular that, you know, like specific topics that we will be speaking about business and things like that as well, because that's just my I have like passion for business. I'm an MBA and serial entrepreneur, so I just love everything entrepreneurship. Um, I love working with creatives and, you know, giving them some, because I'm like that myself, and giving advice on how to monetize your makes. I think that's important, you know, in this day and age. We all want to kind of do the thing that we love, right, and make money from it. um, what's the saying? Do the thing that you love. Do the thing that you love, and you never work a day in your life. Do you really believe that? I don't believe that, but I think that it makes a world of difference because you commit so much more. Because I think what ends up happening is, you know, there is no business that is solely the creative side of things, right? There are things that you are not going to love so much, like maybe keeping the books or whatever. There are definitely going to be things that you're not going to love so much. Um, but you know, as your business grows, then you can hire people to do those things, and while you focus on the creative aspects of things. Okay. Okay, so now we have trimmed all of our corners. Okay, they look like this. And now what I'm going to do is turn it right side out. Okay, using my fingernail, I'm going to try to get as close to the point as possible, and then just flip it out, okay, on all sides. Okay, very good. Look at that. Already got your mitered corners. Look at that. Okay, looks like a picture frame. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of this one as well. Why don't you let me know in the chat, what are your favorite things to sew? What are your favorite things to sew? And by the way, if you're catching this via replay, please leave a comment. I will reply. I will definitely reply. Okay. All right. So now we are ready for our contrasting fabric. So what did I do with it? Oh, it's behind me. Okay. Go ahead and put these away as well. Okay. So what we're going to do is take one of your contrasting fabric squares, and you're going to back it with one of your batting squares. Right? So mine is really thin. It's truly about it's just shy of a quarter of an inch. Okay, so I'm putting this to the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, wrong side of the fabric here. And then I'm just going to stuff it like so. So the purpose of so these, as I mentioned, these are 5 inch. These come out to be 5 inch. So it goes down from 7 1/4 inches to 5 inches. Um, and then this inside square is just shy of 5 inches. It's 4 3/4 inch, so that you have a little room at the corners to kind of debulk. It kind of keeps it from getting too bulky. Okay, so that's one. And let me go ahead and stuff the second one. Okay, so I put my batting on the back of it and I'm just going to stuff it. Okay. Looking gorgeous already. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pin this in place. Okay, make sure it's nice and flat. Nice and flat. You know, when I started out, I started making clothes and things like that, but um, you know, and it just, after going to a business school, right, you tend to look for problem solving things. And I looked to myself, um, and the things that I was experiencing, and that's how I ended up getting into um, the bra making business. It's because it was a real problem for me, and as I looked around, it turned out to be a real problem for a lot of women. Uh, and so that's how I ended up specializing. But when I first started out, I did all sorts of things like gowns and things like that. And then when my business just got to be at 13, okay, mind you, when I had my business at 13, um, it got to be so busy um, that I just really couldn't handle it anymore, and especially and do work and school. I'm sorry. And so I decided that I would take a break. And so I ended up taking a break, and I really did not pick it up again until I bought my house, and I was in the need of things like pillows and slip covers and um, drapes and things of that, especially the drapes. Okay, because you know when you're looking at a home that has a lot of windows, it's like amazing, right? It's like, oh my gosh, all of the light coming in. It's an amazing thing. But let me tell you, you've got to cover all of those windows. And it's so darn expensive to it's so expensive to cover those windows with drapes. Okay. So expensive. And so even if I didn't want to sew, it was the only option, you know. Um, so I ended up doing all of my drapes and things like that. And I'm so into like everything creative, home decor, and all of that. And I've had friends and family ask for my help in that area as well. And I just have an affinity for it. So then, of course, it just sparked all over again. Um, okay, now I've got this all pinned. Okay, so what we're going to do then is edge stitch along the edge of the outer trim here. Okay, I'm going to edge stitch along here. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to increase my stitch length since we're top stitching here. And for those of you who are new to sewing, you want to back stitch at the beginning and the end. And when you get to the corners, just pivot. And I do love this. I do love this color combination a lot. And I like to actually just retrace that first bit. Get the other one. And it's really just that simple, okay? It's just that simple. And imagine, you could actually make use some placemats and things like that out of scrap fabrics that would look amazing for dinner parties, since we're, things are opening back up and people are probably wanting to do more dinner parties. Especially since we've been starved from socialization for so long. Heading into the home stretch. And that is it, folks. Okay. Just gonna trim these up. Okay. And just like that, okay? We go from rubbish to, or old to new, rubbish to useful. What would be the right thing to say? Just like that. And to be quite honest with you, you could stick some pins in here too. You could use it as a pin holder. So I'm going to give this a quick press. Just a quick press here. And here, the fabrics that I'm using is, like I said, a double gauze. And this is like a really light weight, like broadcloth. Okay, and now I've got a highly absorbent, beautiful way to keep my desk nice and dry. So a very quick and easy project that you can do like really 20 minutes to be quite honest with you. Now I've got a set of 4 and trust me, you're going to see these on the set. I just love how it fits my coffee mug and my coffee was getting cold. Look how beautiful that is. I love it. I'm definitely going to do a quilt or just a bed cover um, using this same type of style and design. These actually make amazing gifts for like holiday season, holiday sewing, um, yeah, birthdays, uh, Mother's Day sort of gifts, things like that. I love these. I love that. It has a nice touch. And then if you made it, of course, it makes it even more special. Okay, guys, that is it for our training today. That is it for our Sew Jeaux Live. Um, I would love to see you for next episode. Please join me, but the only way to do that is how? Like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single thing. Okay? And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Change it to all so that you are notified when I upload and when we are doing another Sew Jeaux Live. That's it for me, folks. That is it for me. Please don't forget to create something beautiful. I'm out.